guys have no idea what you got yourself into. Isn't that kind of the fun, though? That's the fun part, isn't it? So thank you guys so much, by the way, for selling out this panel, having no idea who was going to be on it. Just like the mystery panel. Was anybody else at the mystery panel, by the way? Did you go to the mystery panel? That's pretty fun, right? So we've been wanting to do like a kick-ass chick panel for a while because who doesn't love kick-ass chicks? And we finally got one. And these women are all kick-ass or badass for a variety of reasons. And we are in love with all of them for a variety of reasons. So I'm sorry. I always forget the housekeeping stuff. Is there flash photography allowed at this panel? No. Is there video allowed at this panel? No. Is there fun allowed at this panel? Yes. Oh, you're so good. And all the standing room only folks, with your help and everyone else who is sitting in a seat right now, we have raised over $7,000 for Operation Smile. I see you, and I see your heart. All right, without further ado, our first guest, you know from Chuck. Her name is Yvonne Strahovski. That's you. All the way down. Our second guest, you know from Parks and Rec. Go ahead and treat yourself. It's Retta. Hi, baby. How you doing? Our third guest, you know her from a movie like Stick It, or a show like Reaper, or a show like Rookie Blue. She's my wife, Missy Peregrym, everybody. I mean, I kind of had to, right? I kind of had to. Thanks, babe. I love you. Our next guest, where are we going? Oh, our next guest, you most recently know from Once Upon a Time. Please welcome to the stage, Jennifer Morrison. Our next guest, you know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Please welcome to the stage, Ming-Na Wen. I'll take the hug. I just didn't want you to sit on your microphone. Might be a little uncomfortable. Or not. And our... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And our last guest...
Sorry for you.
And our last guest, you know her primarily from Game of Thrones. Welcome Sophie Turner to the stage, everybody. Pretty good panel, huh?
Hey, one more time for my camera!
Everybody cheer for me. That's fine. That's fine. So these guys know the deal. You guys know the deal. Who has a burning question that they would love to ask these lovely badass ladies? Yes, we have a right over there.
Hi.
Right over there.
So you ladies are all so wonderful, and thank you so much for instilling so much confidence into myself and, you know, all the women in here, and it's just, you're all so wonderful. Thank you so much. So my question for you, though, is being in an industry that is so male-focused, have you folks ever, you know, experienced any struggles with, you know, sexism in forms of interviews? And if you have, how have you, you know, kind of adjusted to that, or kind of, you know, said no, like, and kind of taken your own way and said, you know, just did your own thing? I don't know.
Damn, that was a heavy one, huh, to start with. Well, let me tell ya.
I was gonna say, I just met you, but I feel like you should take this question.
a woman and being an ethnic woman, if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of color. It's always been a struggle to kind of make your mark and have a voice, and I think it's normal, as opposed to any other business where women need to be very confident in themselves and forge ahead. So it's just believing in yourself and having that conviction to deal with the men in.
Yeah, you, Zach. I'm just kidding. He's right.
Anybody else?
I feel like this is my first job, so I'm like, discriminate against me, just pay me a check. I can't say that I've really experienced sexism. I'm a big girl, so my big thing is just getting a normal part that doesn't require me to do this, and you know what I mean? Like, one of my least favorite words is sassy, because that's all I ever hear. I feel like they don't have another descriptor for me, because fabulous works for me. But I think, people get placed in boxes, and it's your job to do whatever it is you can to jump out of that box. I was, the part I play on Parks, I don't think she's necessarily typical. She's not a typical big black woman, because, she knows she's fabulous, and she purports to be the most fabulous person in the room, and doesn't care, what you think, because she's like, I got my bands, that kind of thing. So, yeah, of course. Everywhere I go, y'all, everywhere I go. That shit's gonna be my tombstone. That's okay, because I pay the bills. Anyone else?
Anyone else want to add to this?
Yeah, I think, I'm sure you all, when we started, it was like, babe number one. It's like, oh God, I got a job.
For sure.
Shut up.
Well, in my case, it's like hooker number one. I think. Oh, was that wrong?
Yeah, it's frustrating when it's like a lot of the parts you go out for is like the college girl who deep throats a, beer bottle. And it's like, thanks a lot. Yeah, there's nothing else I can offer here. I couldn't stand that stuff. I think it's frustrating when you do interviews and stuff and everybody talks about fashion. Like, I have no other interests because I'm a girl. What can I not live without? Lipstick. I'm fine. I don't know, water, food, maybe fucking man. I do want to say thank you, because that is so fucking cool and brave what you do. So, I don't know. I think you're the badass in the room, no? Unless it's a costume.
Is it a costume?
That was a great question. Maybe I fell for it.
We are at Comic-Con.
Is it cosplay, or are you in the armed services?
It's okay. You're still a badass. It's okay. You're
Hey,
still a badass.
brave to dress up, darling. Still brave to dress up. Who's got the next question? Right there. Oh, right there. Nice shirt.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan, Yvonne. I'm just like, seriously, you're amazing, and I follow your work, so I have a question. I know you've done action, drama, with Dexter, Frankenstein, and, with Chuck, you did action. There's a type of genre of a TV show or movie you would like to explore more?
I think, I would like to do lots of different things. I think one of my favorite parts about being an actress is that I get to portray many different people in my one lifetime. So, and I hope to do that through many different genres and different mediums like theater, film, and television. So hopefully, I get to do that. Yeah.
Next question. Right over there.
Hi, my name's Amy. This is my first Nerd Headquarters. I just wanted to ask all of you, in anything you've ever been in, is there a male role that you think would have been better as a woman, or...
What did I invite on myself? You're welcome for all the ladies.
You invited all of us. This is totally your fault.
It's totally my fault. Totally my fault.
I definitely read a lot of scripts, actually. I don't know about you guys, but there's scripts that come my way, and often I read them and I kind of wish, geez, it would be fun if the lead or the two male leads would be female leads instead. Because there's a lot of movies with a lot of male leads, and, you know, I don't know about you guys, but they're the same.
I think any role, really. But I'm looking forward to Lucy. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to Lucy. I think, you know, like a female-born character would be fabulous, and I'm more than willing to do it. But yeah, there's always, I mean, whenever you read something, chances are 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find a character and you're like, oh, I wish I could play that part. So I think anything's, you know, interchangeable, except for the sperm donor roles.
That got very specific and graphic. Missy?
No, I have nothing else to add to this. I mean, I am already very picky about that. I prefer to play women who are, let's try for normal. I don't know, we don't have it all together. How about that? And we are emotional, and that doesn't mean that we're crazy. Okay? It means that we're very smart, and we can relate to a lot of different things. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with what both these ladies said, so I don't really have too much to add.
I feel really lucky because I feel like I'm a part of a show that has a lot of very strong, smart women. And so I've been really lucky to be surrounded by that. And also, even coming from House, you know, that was a lot of strong, smart women as well. So I've been lucky to be in environments where I feel like women have been well represented in that way. And something that I've really appreciated Eddie Kitsis and Adam Horowitz for, who are our showrunners, was that they have shown this fullness to a woman. I think kind of what you're talking about, like, you know, you can be more than one thing. You're not, just because you're smart and you're strong and kicking ass at certain times doesn't mean something else isn't going to make you cry or make you vulnerable or make you want to reach out to someone and connect with someone in a certain way. And I think it's you know, nice that we're starting to move into a place in the industry where people are writing characters like that, and I feel really lucky to be able to play a character that is written that way. So I think we're starting to move in the right direction, which is nice.
No, and I've been fortunate enough to had a part given to me by Joss Whedon, who... Louder! Joss. He writes amazingly strong female parts, and this one, as Melinda May, it's truly, you know, it's absolutely my most favorite part to play because she's the cavalry, right? And she has such strong convictions, and she doesn't have to be, you know, like, needing a man's approval or go by the rules that even in an organization like S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, she still goes by her own convictions and her own rules, and I take a lot away with that, you know, for myself. It's a tough thing to do, I think, as a woman in this business, but it's kind of nice to have come full circle where I feel like having so many women on in television and movies with just such a variety of strong female roles. We've come a long way, you know, since being like just the housewife or something. Don't need to applaud.
Pretty much agree with everyone else here. Yeah, it's not like I'm going to be like, yeah, no, the male roles are the best, give them to the men. I think, yeah, like the others have said, I mean, we're kind of part of a movement right now, and I think one of the reasons that we're up here is because we're part of something, some film or TV show or whatever that's got these incredible female characters that are really, you know, just as equal as the men in their own right, and then it's inspiring women every day to kind of step up to, you know, not that they need to, but realize that men and women, we're totally equal in every way, and our characters are showing that, and I think it's just a very empowering thing that we're part of. And I just look forward to the future of film and television, because, I mean, it just means that the parts are going to get stronger and stronger for women and men, and I just look forward to it. Yeah.
Just save me a few roles. That's all I'm asking. I just want a few.
Please.
Oh, yeah. She's taking it around. Who's got the mic? Oh, right there.
Hi. I just want to say that I really love all of the work that all of you are doing. And you've kind of answered a little bit of this question in what you've been saying. But I want to know how all of you feel about the trope of the strong female character, and what parts of it that you try to celebrate with your work, and what parts you try to subvert with it. Thanks, guys.
Can I just ask, what is trope?
I'm so glad you asked.
I think I need a thesaurus.
Stereotype. I knew that. It was for the benefit of the audience. I was... trope.
Zach. I'm sorry. Well, the trope that I try to avoid. Usually if it's a strong female character, they're like, oh, she's such a bitch. Which I often call, that's my favorite word. Bitch, that bitch. Can you believe this bitch? Or you're just like, bitch. So, there's oftentimes a negativity associated with being a strong woman, but I honestly feel like that's not as big a thing, you know. Olivia Pope is not a bitch, and she's running shit. You know what I mean? Cersei's a bitch. I really want Sansa to cut Cersei.
I'll try.
But I feel like, you know, they're not, I don't think they're portraying them as bitches. You know, Liz Lemon, you know, Leslie, no, they're not bitches. They're getting shit done. And I curse a lot, you guys. I'm sorry. Is that problematic for you, Zach?
Oh, what are you kidding me? I fucking love it.
All right.
We really should get a cuss jar. We really should, genuinely, for Operation Smile. So every time a panelist says something, that's $20 right there. Back.
All right. Shit, I would clear that shit up. But... I get cuss all the time. But I do the trope that I do celebrate is independence, not being negative. You know, not having to need a man. You know, you want a man as a partner.
Although it's not a bad thing.
No, I'm saying not having to need one. I mean, yeah, I gotta get some.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That need, yes. But, you know, to pay my mortgage, I don't need a man. I feel like I made my point.
Should we just move on? Let's move on. There's your tropes. Who's got the next one right up here?
Hi, my name is Kaylee. You women inspire me along with billions of other women and girls, and I was just wondering, who are the badass women that inspire you?
I would have to say for me, that's mostly women in my family. I certainly have my heroes of actresses that I think are wonderful and women who've done great things for the world. But I feel like the strongest influences in my life are people really close to me. And my mom is incredible. She's so bright, so devoted.
My mom's brighter and smarter. She's really wonderful.
She actually is.
So that's my answer too.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm not making it up, but
I wasn't either. I'm just mad you took my answer.
And like my sister, who has a full.
You have a sister.
No.
Oh, you're so lucky.
I have two. I have two sisters. So actually, I have four now.
I have.
Thanks to Zach. Hi, Shekinah. Hi, Sarah.
I have two stupid brothers. I'm just kidding.
I'm really sorry if we just interrupted you and blew up your
It's all
answer.
good.
It was a really great answer.
Jennifer, please
Don't
finish.
worry.
Please finish.
No, I was just saying. I was very lucky to have very strong and also very kind, strong women very close to me in my life. And I'd say in the business, the most influential person was Pam Fryman, who was the executive producer and director of How I Met Your Mother. And she was just, to me, completely exemplified a woman who, with utter elegance and kindness, was completely in control and in charge of a set and had the absolute love and respect of everyone around her, and everyone wanted to do their best work because they cared so much for her. And she just had this magical ability to do that without some of the tropes we were talking about of like, oh, she's a bitch because she's strong or any of that stuff. She just, with utter elegance, was in control. And so she's someone that I've always looked to as setting a standard for how to lead. So,
Which, by the way, brings up another thing. I was thinking about what actually is a badass woman. And I think that is a badass woman. I don't think it's somebody who's strong and tough all the time. And, we have this idea, and maybe it's with growth as you get older. I guess for me, it used to be really tough and kind of guarded a little bit so that people couldn't get to me, and that was tough. And I had this big bad Jeep, which I miss. But, there were things that I did to appear tough when really I was actually extremely vulnerable. I'm 32 now. And it's actually all about
That's not old.
courage. I don't think I'm old. God, now I called her old? No, I just really think that as a woman, there is a way to carry yourself with strength, and it really is kindness and love. I think it goes a long way. And taking risks and being courageous and brave to be yourself is really scary. And it's just incredibly impactful. You can get a lot done. So that's that.
Yes, my mother, the women in my family are very strong. And outside of my mother, I think it's mostly because they're all crazy. And so they don't know that they should be scared of certain things. But business-wise, I recently got to work with Alfre Woodard. And she is so freaking cool and amazing and well-rounded and smart. I'm a huge fan of Shonda Rhimes. I don't know Shonda, but I appreciate her work so much. I love that she just splashes color into everything. There's so much color in her shows. And, women of color, we can do shit. And we don't often get to show it. So I appreciate her work. I'm a huge fan of Tina Fey. she's the shit. She's so cool. She and Amy are so cool, so smart, so giving, so open, and they get stuff done. And I appreciate that in them.
Yvonne?
Of course, my mom. I didn't grow up having family around me or siblings because I am the only Australian in my family. So I always looked towards my parents, and my mom, seeing as we're talking about women, because my parents left Poland, where my whole family is, illegally during the time of communism, and then had me. So the strength, to do something like that, I still am in awe of the strength and the courage and the bravery that you have to do something like that. And because I didn't have a lot of family around me, I looked to my friends a lot, and I have a lot of really strong women in my life. And I mean, what we were talking about before, what you were saying, Missy, about like what it means to be a badass, a badass woman. My Australian accent gets in the way. To me, it's not just about that toughness. It's about the vulnerability, and it's about being able to articulate yourself and what you truly mean, and just have a sense of honesty about you and respect for everyone. And and I think that goes for men as well as women. I think as a human race, we all should aspire to be badass people following those types of, lovely little morals that I just stated.
Sophie?
I was thinking about this. Obviously, my mom, because she's kind of awesome too, by the way. Also, Lena Headey, who plays Cersei on Game of Thrones, she has this child who was born during Game of Thrones, and he couldn't come over to England when we were shooting, and she had a really tough time with that. And then she went through a lot during the second and third season of Thrones, just with personal matters. And every single day she turned up on set early and absolutely nailed every single scene. Considering most of the scenes as well were to do with her son or one of her children, and so emotional. I mean, a lot of her scenes are to do with that. And she would struggle through it, but at the end of the day, I mean, if you watch her scenes, they are perfection. I mean, she's incredible, and I have so much respect for her as an actress and a person, and she just freaking nails it every time. I love her. Yeah.
Ming-Na? Did you?
Oh,
Well, you mentioned your mother earlier.
well, I mean, again, my mom is truly the most incredible human being that I look up to her very much. She was a single mom raising 2 children. She survived communism, escaped communism, and by herself brought 2 young kids to America without being able to speak a word of English, married my stepfather. I'm going to tell a really long story now, so be prepared. But I mean, it's just, and able to help my stepfather run a restaurant, and just deal with business, and just has such strong, such a strong personality, and I love her to death. And being a mom myself now, I don't know how she managed to do all that she did. I have an incredible, supportive, loving husband, and he makes it possible for me to be a badass character on TV. But in reality, my mother is definitely the person to inspire me and everyone else around her. So. Beautiful. But I'm also inspired by Princess Leia. Is that kind of...
I think everyone's inspired by Princess Leia. Especially on Jabba's barge. Yes, you.
Ming-Na, you're such an inspiration to me. I don't want to be an emotional mess right now, but like ever since Mulan and now with Melinda May, and you're just so beautiful.
Can I hug you later? I'm going to give you a hug.
Yes, please. Now my makeup's going to be a mess on camera. Okay. Thank you. So my question is, so many Asian parents encourage their children to pursue things like medicine and stable careers. No. It's a good question, I promise. It's good. Okay. Yeah, okay. And we're not really encouraged to pursue the arts because we can face a lot of discrimination in those fields. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on, because media is so important, because people who don't see ethnic minorities or other types of minorities, that's their only exposure. And if all they ever see are racist stereotypes, then it just perpetuates a lot of problems. And I would just love to hear your thoughts on, trying to rally more of us into the industry, whether it's acting or writing or, yeah. And I love you.
Oh, gosh. I love you, too. Oh, gosh. You're going to make me cry. Okay, so what's so wonderful about being an actress and actor, I think we can all attest to it, is because we want to be able to portray characters and have the human connection and have an experience through our characters, for you guys, not just to entertain you, but to just make that human connection. And thank you for saying all those wonderful things. It blows my mind. Oh.
African parents are like that too, you guys.
I know, right? Right? I bet.
It's true.
It's true.
I was supposed to be a neurosurgeon. Can you imagine? Oh, thank you. But that's like, and my parents are from Liberia, and Liberians are all about school. It is like no joke. Most of them send their kids to the States to go to school because they think they have the best school, that sort of thing. And I was a math science girl. I was pre-med. I was supposed to be a neurosurgeon, and I remember when I started doing stand-up, and I was like, shit, my mother's gonna be like, are you kidding me right now? And when I remember calling my mom and saying, so I'm gonna drive to California and try to do this stand-up thing so I can get into TV. My mom was like, she didn't freak out. Like, I thought she was gonna totally freak out. My dad freaked out. He was like, please get health insurance. That was his big thing. He was like, get health insurance. But my mom was like, well, just remember you're carrying around your father's last name, so don't embarrass him. She was like, do the best that you can. She's like, don't go playing. Go, if you're gonna do it, do it. So I dropped my last name. But, God bless, because a lot of parents wouldn't. I did. Well, I mean, just Retta.
We have to talk, because I dropped my last name, my stage last name, for the longest time when I did ER, which, by the way, I told my mom I got to be a doctor for 5 years. Let's write that off the list, right? Because of same, issues, fatherly things. Yeah. But now I have it back because I'm proud of being who I was born as, and so it's back in my. We have so much to talk about, girl. But go ahead, continue.
Oh, so, and support. I mean, now now they're cool because I'm on TV, but honestly, my mom. I don't even know if my mom's seen an episode of Parks, if I'm being honest. She's just like, people will talk about it and she'll pretend she knows what they're talking about. And she's like, they just love you in the office. And I'm like, in her office, not the show, The Office. But my dad used to record. My dad worked for Con Air for like 30 years. My dad would record anything I was in and take the tapes to work and have people sign them out like it was a video library, and then check them off when they brought the stuff back. And he watches everything, and he'll be like, "So what's going on with Rob Lowe?" I'm like, "Settle down." But I'm so happy that I was able to get that support because I didn't see it coming. So I was glad. Okay.
And to finish answering your question about being, raised Asian, it was just something that was my calling. I never had any doubt in my mind that this was something that I wanted to do, and my mom was completely against it because she thought I had to sleep my way to the top, which I did. But it's all right. I'm proud of it. But once I got into Carnegie Mellon, and actually there was a degree that I could get for drama, which surprised her to no end. She said, "Oh, America different." So easy. But now that I've been successful, she takes all the credit. And she tells me to always keep my eyes open. Open your eyes, Ming. Like some Peking opera shit, but yeah. So just follow your heart. That's all I ever say to anyone. You want to go into the arts, follow your heart.
Amen to that, yeah. Those were words, I promise. Who's got the next question? Oh, right here.
First of all, I want to say I've been to upwards of 30 NerdHQ panels, and this sets the bar. I'm gonna cry. Piggybacking off of Sarah's trope question, as we move forward in the entertainment industry, are there tropes like sassy that you just, or plot devices that you just want to see gone? At working as women and women of color, just to, I don't want to fight over this guy all the time, stuff like that.
There's, talking about tropes, it's something that I face a lot whenever there's a strong sort of smart woman character that comes my way. It's often tied into a lot of bra and underwear scenes, which often is fine and appropriate for the scene or the series or the film, but then a lot of the times it's just plain old gratuitous, and it doesn't really need to be there. And I find that as a woman, you're really only ever going to be able to protect yourself, so you really have to sort of be smart about what you as a woman consider to be the gratuitous side of things versus the appropriate portrayal of the character and the scene and whatever else is going on. But often, going back to the trope stereotype, that's one thing that I would like to have less to do with, is when it is that gratuitous stuff and you really sort of it doesn't need to be there. What I always say is, if it's appropriate for the character and to tell the story, then yes, it is like it's cool to be there. But if it's just for the sake of having the strong, sassy, sexy, smart woman, take a gear off just to have that there, it just doesn't really make sense, and it is tied into that stereotype, unfortunately, I find.
It's interesting.
Thank you. Thank you. I sounded really smart.
interesting listening to these questions because it's making me realize maybe I'm just a pain in the ass. But
No.
I might be. I think that I know we're talking specifically about women, but I think it's really about men and women in the business. If we're going to just talk about the industry and roles that people play, it's just so important to have a sense of yourself and what your own boundaries are and what you believe in and what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. Certain people are extremely comfortable with nudity and it doesn't even faze them, and certain people are very uncomfortable with it and really have certain boundaries about it, and there's everything in between, and that doesn't just go for, not just for nudity and things like that, but I just mean moral, ethical, political, all sorts of different things. And I really, over the last, I would say 10 years, have gotten really clear on my boundaries about things and the way that I feel about them. And so I don't feel threatened when people propose something that I don't feel right about, because I just say no. And I just don't do it. And I feel fine with that.
That does not make you a pain in the ass, by the way, but that's what we are talking about, that we are, right? That's like your
no, I mean, and I was
say no.
Yeah, I mean,
no is a great word.
Yeah, I say no a lot, but and I was kidding about the pain in the ass thing, but I think what I feel excited about actually listening to these questions is like, wow, I don't feel threatened by those things anymore. And I think when I was 20, 21, 22 years old, I did feel threatened and freaked out by some of those things. And I've had these conversations with male actors who are put in some of these situations who have these conversations as well. So it's not just something that affects just women. I think it's just in general. So I feel like the thing that I would want people to take away from thinking about a panel like this or characters like the ones that we play is like, I hope that what people are seeing are people that know who they are and are committed to those boundaries and aren't afraid of what other people think in order to do what's right for you. And something I said a year ago here actually was, be brave enough to be yourself and be good to each other. And sometimes being brave enough to be yourself means that someone's going to misunderstand you, or they may not make you feel great in the moment, but you just have to know for yourself that you can lay your head on your pillow at night and feel good about that. So I'm hoping, listening to some of these questions and some of the things that people are probing about in here about women, I think it spans men and women, but also just say, like, I hope that what we're doing is inspiring everyone to question what their own boundaries and their own beliefs and their own senses of identity are, so that you guys can have that in your life too from moment to moment, because I feel relieved to be feeling like I'm not threatened by those questions or those things anymore. So whatever that's.
And I think what's so amazing, I mean, being a geek girl, and I love coming to Comic-Con, this is my 4th Comic-Con, is that I see so many amazing costumes and people dressing up and doing this cosplaying of their heroes or, the characters that's inspired them. And I think that's because, whatever these characters have done in your life and give you that extra boost or that strength, and you dressing up as these characters, it's almost like you need to go from that cosplaying into just, when you take off that outfit, still feel it inside, still really have that strength and belief. And I mean, that's why I love Comic-Con, because we get to all be, who we really dream and wish and want to be. So.
Who's got the next question? Right over here.
So some of you guys already talked about throwing yourself out into Hollywood without the initial support of your parents. I didn't know if some of the other ladies up there could describe times where they've thrown themselves out on a limb or made sacrifices and definitely, had to stumble through and eventually had validation, but at least can, tell stories about when they, were badasses in themselves, not just in their characters, and, how it all resolved itself.
My parents weren't into me doing the acting thing either. My Polish parents, they were like, no, 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 same thing. Go do medicine, go do law. So I had to have that moment too where I was like, well, I'm going to go do it anyway because that's what I felt in my heart. And now they're wonderful and they're 100% supportive. But they took, it took a year to get over it.
I had a very different experience. A lot of the questions that I get are the fact that my father was a minister, and because, you know, I'm Christian, were my parents upset that I got into this? And actually, it's the complete opposite. I was raised in a home where it had everything to do with integrity and character and how you carry yourself, and we are all uniquely created and wonderfully made and have so much to offer to everybody, no matter what we do. And it's about how we carry ourselves, and it doesn't really matter what we do, it's how we do it. And so I was able to apply that with this job, and I think I found it really difficult. I left home to live in LA for the first time when I was 21, I think. And it scared me. I think I was really tough. I was told who to be and how to be, and it made me really angry because I don't like being pushed around. So I think I've kind of grown out of that, and it's the same thing what you were saying. I kind of take things with a grain of salt now. I'm okay if you don't like me. I like me. And so it's, I kind of think that's what everybody goes through. It doesn't really matter what you do. You're always having to find yourself, and, you know, like you were talking about, it's your boundaries and who you are and what you're comfortable with, and being brave enough to say no, and honestly being brave enough to say yes when something scares you, and pushing yourself over and over and over again. And I'm incredibly blessed. God has been incredibly good to me, and even in the hardest times of my life, which I've had.
You're talking about Zach, right?
Well,
I just can't catch a fucking break. I just can't.
He's my reward for all the crap I went through, actually. I really meant that.
I know you did, baby.
No, I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm like distracted.
I think my with you're talking about bra and underwear thing. My thing was always asked to go and do like ghetto roles, and in certain things, obviously, it's appropriate. But I felt like that's the only thing I ever get called to do, either that or, you know, a nurse or a parking enforcement. But it just never sat well with me, partially because I didn't think I was good at it. I was like, I can't, if I don't believe it, like, you have to believe who your character is to portray the character. And I think I could play a fairy before I could get away with the stereotypical ghetto base.
You gotta be on Once Upon a Time.
I know, right?
We'll find you a fairy to play. Let's do it.
And it was so hard for me, and I knew in my heart that it was like, I just don't want to portray. I don't want to perpetuate the negative. And so the first time I told my agent, yeah, I'm not going to go out for that. And he didn't react like, why not? He was just like, okay, I'll tell him it's not. I was like, oh shit, I can say no. I used to get nervous when I was like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And I've had some where it was a bra and panties, believe it or not, bra and panties scene. And I was like, I don't know if I could do it. And I remember going in for the thing and for this audition and just not believing it. I just didn't feel it. I was like, I would never say these things. I definitely won't say them in, leopard panties and a bra. And it didn't go well. And it was after that, and I remember the promo for that movie, and the girl was in her leopard bra and panties in the promo, and like on the screen, it was so, and I was like, dear Jesus, thank you. Thank you. Because it was in the promo, so people who didn't even see the movie saw her, and God bless, if she was happy, she was happy. I would have thrown up every day if it had happened to me. And I was lucky, and I was glad I didn't get the part. And then when I finally got to a place where I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say no. It's not worth it because it just stresses me out. It makes me not feel good about myself. And then I'm just in there I'm not representing my representatives because, they're sending me in saying she can do this. And I'm going in going, I want to throw up and I don't want to do this. And everybody just looks bad. So when I finally was able to say, no, I'm not gonna go in for it. And to have them be like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, thank you so much. I really was so happy to know that I could say no.
Yeah, but that's also something that is not the norm. I really feel like it's kind of hard to find a team that really believes that. You know, I've gone through a few people, and it's kind of, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I think, and you know, you say no enough times, and they're not happy because they just, you know, everybody makes money off of what you do, and if you're not going out for stuff, they're not making money, so they can find anybody else who's going to do that stuff, and it's a business, and so it's really pretty incredible to find a team that's actually going to support who you are and back you up and defend you when you do say no, and you know, put the best name out there for you and support you. But it is scary to say no, and it's pretty awesome when you can. And my agents are probably listening to this and irritated that I say no all the time.
We have time for maybe 2 more questions. Right over there in the back on the right.
Firstly, I would say this is the high note of my vacation here to the US. I'm from Sweden, by the way. Secondly, don't worry, I won't drag it out. Thing is, secondly, I got a little sister, and I think you all of you are inspirational to what with your strength, charisma, and intelligence, which, yeah, makes me proud to have her treated as an equal when I do my, brotherly duty.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are a nice, wonderful big brother.
Now, to my question, and this is a simple one. Where would you like to go on a vacation?
God bless you.
San Diego Comic Con,
That was perfect,
of course.
by the way. That was perfect. That was yes, vacation time. Ladies.
I think Sweden.
I know, they have nice people in Sweden. Yeah. You know, I mean, you're such a great big brother, and now I feel really bad calling my brothers stupid, but because they're really not. So in case they're watching this and I don't get shit later on, they were my, you know, role models too, and they kept me being a tomboy. So sorry, bros. But yeah.
Well, where would you go on vacation?
Oh, where would I go on vacation? No, not Tahiti. Are you kidding? Did you see what they did to Colson? No way, man. Yeah, we just came back from Australia, and that was an amazing place to be. Yeah.
Yvonne, where would you go on vacation?
Well, I would like to go probably to Costa Rica, because I hear there's some good surfing there, and I've never been. So I'd like to go try some surfing there.
Nice. Retta?
I think I want to go to Greece and Australia. I haven't been to either. And I love Australia, man.
Okay, well, we'll talk.
Missy? Budget?
Budget? The man took me to Bora Bora. We're broke. Honestly, that was like my ultimate paradise. I don't even know where to go, which was kind of angering, because I'm like, thank you. We've been to the best. I have nothing to look forward to. God, travel. Jeez. Stop being so sensitive.
Where do you want to go on vacation?
Okay, here's the thing. Sweden was playing Canada. And you know what everybody was saying on Twitter? Everybody was kind of going to win because everybody's so nice over there. So I would love to go there, actually. But I think Canadians are nicer than you.
All right. We don't need an international incident, all right? We'll go to Sweden. All right. Jennifer.
Honestly, I want to go anywhere on a beach with water where my cell phone doesn't work. It's been a really long time since I've taken real time off. So any place anyone recommends with a beach where your cell phones don't work, I'm open to suggestions.
Sweden. So basically Sweden.
Just some remote fjord. Just some like super.
Send me a map and I'll find it.
Sophie? I gotcha.
New Zealand. I like to go hiking in New Zealand. You don't have to like sympathy clap because that was a shit answer. Like, it's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the badass women. Keep it going. Was that fun? Ah, shit, yeah.